Do you know that of all the factors that affects learning, more than 50% are linked to students' attitudes and intrinsic motivation? Students' effort is often the elusive factor that is most important or impactful in the educational process. Are you desiring students to be more cognizant of how their attitudes to learning impact on their overall learning and achievement? Are you seeking more responsible students who bears a higher level of accountability for their achievement? Let's explore 5 ways that schools, faculties, and classroom teachers can build accountability in students and increase their overall achievement. Students' ability and willingness to engage with learning plays an important part in their learning experiences and outcomes. Students who exhibit high learner accountability enhances their likelihood of accomplishing greater success and are more likely than others to achieve or exceed the targets that are set. When students are empowered to take responsibility for their learning and actions, they are capable of equating actions with consequences and see the direct influences that their actions have on their future in a realistic, meaningful way. And they are more likely to become responsible for their learning and share the accountability of their outcomes with their supporting teachers. It is therefore worthwhile to say that teachers should provide students with diversity, inclusivity, and relevance as extrinsic motivations to get students eager to engage and willing to participate in their learning processes. Teachers should create enough learning pits for students to learn through as they develop an appreciation for the learning process and improve their personal learning and thinking skills. These approaches support in making students leaders of their own learning. When teachers are requiring accountability from students, it is best to begin with establishing a learning environment in which students are equipped to deal with social and emotional problems through managing their emotions, empathizing with others, setting positive goals, building meaningful relationships, and making responsible choices. This creates a learning environment of trust and mutual respect, allowing students the security of failing or making mistakes as part of their learning process, and having others respectfully and supportively give them room to use these in their development. This gives students more confidence in their expressions and make them more capable of taking responsibility for their behavior for and attitude to learning. It frees students from the fear of ridicule or the fear of getting things wrong and reinforce the idea that this is all part of the process of learning and intellectual growth. They become more able to show focus, accept criticism, admit errors, communicate more clearly, and become more proactive and bring solutions to problems. Having high standards and setting clear expectations is paramount. Make it abundantly clear to students what you're expecting of them. Reiterate this frequently and demonstrate it in your behavior and interactions with them. Set students high goals and challenge them to push themselves when learning becomes challenging. Provide them with the tools they need to move through learning pits and celebrate their successes. Students need encouragement, and our behavior and interactions with them indicate how confident we are in their abilities to achieve the standards we have set. Our words and our actions need to be synchronized when we are establishing standards and making expectations clear. Convey confidence in your students by showing them that you believe in their abilities and speak positively to them when supporting. Give students opportunities to contribute to the learning and give specific feedback and provide high levels of personalized support. Additionally, ensure the challenges that they are given is appropriate for their learning journeys. Students who are given ownership of their learning have a certain level of autonomy and self-efficacy. They are more invested in their learning and become deeply involved in the learning activities. When students have ownership of their learning, they can monitor their learning and reflect on the learning process more efficiently. They are more motivated, encouraged, more engaged, and more self-directed. Using learning conversations, teachers can create controlled discourse in lessons that allows students to learn from their mistakes and those of others. When empowering students to take ownership of their learning, teachers should employ strategies such as ensuring the learning intentions are clearly established, making connections between new knowledge and ideas and the real world, giving or providing immediate feedback, and provide students with meaningful choices through appropriate and structured differentiation. Self-assessment is a critical review and evaluation of learning through the work that has been produced or the understanding that the new knowledge have brought. When students reflect on their own work and judge how well they have performed in relation to the assessment criteria, it provides them the opportunity to identify what constitutes good work or the level their work needs to be so that they are able to achieve or exceed their personal targets. Self-assessment should be used explicitly as a conceptualized, personal, and collective guided reflection on performance for the purpose of formulating one's own level of knowledge, skills, and understanding in a particular area and identifying ways of improving or where the learning journey path leads next. To improve students' self-assessment, start with students appraising work done by a fictitious student and provide criteria. Then use samples of work from the group that fits highly with the criteria to frame their understanding of quality. Then give students the opportunity to critically reflect on and evaluate their own work. Teachers need to create opportunities for learning outside the classroom. This could be using external speakers, external resources, or out-of-classroom learning contexts. This also includes providing independent work, such as projects, revisions, and consolidation activities outside the classroom with established deadlines. To make these more effective, students want to feel that this work will be given value and that they will receive developmental feedback from them. It is therefore important that out-of-classroom activities, when assigned, should not be isolated from the learning that students are experiencing, but instead either prepares for upcoming learning, consolidates current learning, or use current learning to create more bespoke learning outcomes. Accountability in students is a vital part of developing successful learners who will take pride in the quality of their work, understand how to manage their emotions and behaviors, and become empathetic to others, finding solutions, reflecting, and evaluating to determine quality or make improvements as necessary. It is all educators' responsibility to produce more accountable learners and leaders of the future. Which of these strategies do you currently use? What do you do differently? Which strategy would you find challenging to implement?